Good evening. Happy to welcome you with another session. As we said today, we want to talk about non-resistance or the law of non-resistance. In some circles, it's called the flow or surrender. They are all related to the same principles, though they are a bit different. This is a key topic in mastery. If you want to become a master, it's one of those gems, what you might call a gem, because nobody can operate at the level of mastery if they don't learn this. The other things are good, very, very fantastic, but the real key, what we call the core things, relate to learning to be in the heart and learning the flow, to be in the flow, the law of non-resistance, so that you create from the state of non-resistance. And I hope that in this 1 hour, I do manage to go through what I have prepared, and that it is able to give you quite a good insight into what it means to be non-resistant and how exactly to achieve it. A few tips. So this is part of our trainings, the power of God and our oneness with God. But I thought today, as I start off, in case I've not told you, but since you've attended other trainings of mine, I usually talk about this serenity prayer. It's one of the things that has made me what I am. The day I really got to understand it and the calm message in it, especially these two things about to accept the things I cannot change. God to grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Many of the things that we are facing in the world, the things that hurt us, the things that challenge us, the things we call problems, including disease or sickness, everything has to do with what you are not accepting. It has to do with what you are not acknowledging. It has to do with the lesson you are not learning. And that's why every time you face a problem, the masters usually stand and ask, what am I not learning? What do I need to learn? What do I need to accept? Instead of resisting, instead of trying to force. And once you reach that level of mastery, you begin to live life so simple. Of course, at the unfortunate stage, for those who are young, they think it's not exciting. But I can tell you, it's the most exciting thing to be in charge, be in the know, be in the flow, because that is the real plan of God or Supreme Creator. Things are flowing. Nobody is supposed to force, because God is in control. God has designed everything. Actually, they tell us it has been pre-designed. God is not doing anything now. Creation was done. So ours is flow within and be in the right energy, in the right flow, tune to the right frequency, and be at the right vibration, so that now we can explore and manifest what it is that we want. Since you are, many of you, of course, are people of the Bible, I thought I would bring this, even the Bible in Matthew here says that in 39, that do not resist evil. Do not resist evil. Do not resist evil. And of course, many people have taken this with a pinch of salt, so to say, because Jesus said that even when someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn the other to him also. Now, many people say they cannot do that. That probably is the important thing here. Jesus was telling us about plan to be non-resistant, plan to be in the flow. And this came from, of course, when we were discussing about the eye for an eye, like everybody wants to fight. Everybody is resisting something, fighting, trying to achieve, struggling. Here there is even a group of people who say they're in the struggle. You cannot achieve anything through struggling. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody has achieved anything through struggle. All the great things that we have in this world are not the result of struggle. The air you breathe, it's not something you struggle with. None of you is, building blocks of air and making sure you have enough of it. It is just flowing to you. The sun flows to you. It does not flow to you because you struggle a lot. You are very powerful, and you are so enticing. You pray too much. Look at the water. Water is flowing everywhere for people to access. It's not. You cannot make water, whether you struggle or not. Look at blood. Like, these are not things you can manufacture. They are all flowing in you so that you can be alive. The cells, look at the whole process of childbirth. Things flow by themselves. It's not really about the struggle. And the ultimate masters get to this level of knowledge, knowing that God has designed, or the still authority. We are here to manifest. And for you to manifest, you have to be in the design of the creator, in the design of the person who started it all. And that means that you be in flow. And this, of course, is because we are saying we are one with God. The challenge with our current human dispensation is to be in duality, to think that you are here and God is there and others are there, yet we are all one. You cannot be separate from God. I even sometimes wonder, I hear people saying, Jesus said he did not do anything. Everything was done by God. Everybody, Jesus said, it is not I who doeth the things, but the Father in heaven doeth the things. Now you want to be doing, you want to be like you are the master, like you are the overall, yet yours is to master the master. So the master we talk about here is about alignment, about being one with God, about learning to be well tuned. There is this gentleman I like very much called Eckhart Tolle. He has authored several books. The main, I think, really the main one is in the Power of Now, and he gave us this quote that non-resistance is the key to the greatest power in the universe. This, what we're talking about, is not just mumbo jumbo. It's not just about something just here. People, great minds, have reviewed and have learned. Some people call it even religious circles, even secret societies. People knew this, that great powers are moving in the universe, and your job is to attune to them. And for you to attune in anything, you have to be flowing with it. Why do you have to flow? Because we say the world is energy. Everything in the world is energy, including God. God is the source energy. If things are moving, we said everything vibrates. So for you, if you are stuck, if you are standing, if you are positioning yourself in any way, you're going to find that you are not operating in the natural flow. The nature of life is that life is flowing. There is a new second. Nothing waits. Nothing is still. Everything is flowing. And for you to be in that flow, you have to learn to be in it. You have to flow with it without being resistant. Now, probably to bring this much home, I wrote some notes here for you that if you look at sin, what they call sin or transgression in the world, look at sickness or diseases, they seem to multiply every day, despite many efforts to counteract them. Why do you think so? There is actually more disease today in the era they are calling modern medicine than the diseases we had 20 years ago when some of us were growing up. Why do you think that is the case? So the masters have told us, including the master Jesus himself, that harmony cannot come from inharmony. No peace comes from discord. And that's why mastery takes you towards peace. Even Jesus said, when he resurrected, he said, let peace be with you. Even when he was going, they tell us, he said, he's leaving you peace. This peace I leave you. It's about achieving that level. When you have mastery, you achieve peace, because you know how things are. That there are many, the great things of life you cannot buy. Things are happening. There is the energy in the world, and everything in the energy is one, and each moving in a way that is fulfilling its role. And yours is to learn how to flow within them. That's why when it rains, you can find shelter. When it shines too much, you either find something to shelter again. It's not about stopping rain all the time, even though you have the power. You have to learn to move with the flow. You cannot say we plant in January every day, every year, or I plant in November, December. You have to learn seasons. We talked about the laws. So if you are always against the flow of things, the flow of the universe, the way things are flowing, you are always going to have struggle. You are always going to be fighting. So it might seem contradictory to many people when you say non-resistance, don't resist, especially when you're in a country led by the resistance movement. I hope I don't injure anyone's pride. But there is really nothing to resist. That's why you see even your government, the things they say they were resisting when they went to fight, you look today, those things that have either multiplied, if not tripled. Because resistance is not the way to go against things. And this is the key to mastery. And I am happy to be taking you today through this session so that we can have a rethink. We can have, repentance, as Jesus said, repent. The kingdom of God is at hand. Repentance means have a change in mind, have a change in thinking, and know that the kingdom of God is within you, is at hand, is achievable, is here with you. But you have to know the laws. You have to know how to move and harness it. So those who are wide open, those who are open to possibilities, who are flowing, are the ones who attract more prosperity. This you have to learn. It is the law. It is the law, not about debate. Just like you see shops, if an entrepreneur starts a shop, they open it wide. Usually they want to be on the ground floor, and they make it easier for people to access you. So when you're in the floor, you are making it easier for good energies to access you, but also for bad energies to move out of you. Because you are in the floor, you are open. It's like the other way to think about it is think about a salesman or saleswoman who knows how to avert any objective resistance in a customer's mind. If you've ever been a salesperson, you go tell someone, buy this or take up this service, it's good for you like this, and someone will bring a barrage of questions, many times actually to challenge you, sometimes to abuse your product. Now, if you are going to win, remember, mastery is about winning. If you want to win, you have to know that dexterity, that ability to be, to move within the flow. So you're saying you have to change that customer's mind. That's your goal, even if the customer previously desired the product. Because all human beings are always ever in this process of selling ourselves to others for approval or disapproval. And once you know this, then you are, it's all the money you want is with people, all the favor you want is with people, all the great things you want are with people. And ladies know this very well, because we want to show off the best of ourselves. Ladies every day dress very well, and they go about their business in a way that the opposite sex will not resist them. I don't know whether men do it as well, but ladies know how to do this very well. They target like God actually, who wants all our attention. All his creations also want to be irresistible. We want to show off the very best of ourselves and be irresistible to others, and so do all energies in the end. And I had given you see the example of ladies, that they know this principle very well. If a lady is interested in a guy, for them they don't speak. Usually they will act in a way that will make them irresistible, so that you can become non-resistant. And this secret has been known by many sages over centuries, that the best way to attract what you want is to be non-resistant to it. It's to make it also irresistible to you. You also have to become non-resistant to it, and you act. That's the only way you can attract something. So this calls for us to work with and for that which we want. As human beings, as masters especially, we are called to work for what we want. And the masters know that what I want, I can only achieve it if I become non-resistant to it, so that it can also become non-resistant to me. It's how the energies move. If you don't fall for each other, that's why actually even in the normal speak here, I think they call it that people have fallen for each other. If only one falls, it won't work. So we have to master this power of non-resistance. And what this calls for us to do is to master that level of non-resistance where we stop giving our energy. Remember, we said whatever you give energy grows. It's the law. We shall have time to go through the power of energy as well. We are saying everything in now, whatever you give energy, so when you resist, what will grow is that resistance harmony at a no resistance level with that which you want. So for us to grow the capacity to achieve what we want, we must become non-resistant. It's one of the skills you have to grow as you live your day, as you see things, I said, as you see challenges, as you see things coming, things are not going well. Ask yourself, what am I resisting? What am I not learning? What am I not allowing? Huh? Jesus' advice might be strong, but sometimes that's what we need. If they slap this side, turn the other one, so that the person sees there is no usefulness in slapping, so that you can move to the next level. It's great wisdom at the highest level. Of course, not easy for simple minds to understand, but it's how people win. All people, it's why even when you go to offices, you find most likely the top managers are always more understanding than the bulls and cows in the middle. Sorry to use that word, but they are always big. Also in offices, want to be very big. You find the managers usually are humbler, are more listening. They will even do the littlest thing. Me, when I move at my office, picking the kavera, turn everywhere, I find an unwashed cup on the table, I take, wash it. People look at you, and some of them think you are not being useful, or I don't know. But because people don't understand that even if I keep complaining about you not washing the cups, I'm going to injure myself, to injure my own heart. So if I can learn to flow, I know the one who will learn the lesson will see from what I've done. Also learn to pick the kavera, not leave bottles everywhere, and do the right thing, because I'm doing this for myself, not for any other person. So we have to be non-resistant. Every time you resist, you create a countering energy, and you are wasting your energy fighting instead of saving your energy for more productive work. So if you want, we all want to be well off, we want to be good, we want to face good life. So if you want prosperity to come in, you make it easier for prosperity to come in when you are not resisting. Because whatever is come to you will flow. Look at all the opportunities that have come to you. Many times you have not struggled for them. It's why for us people reach out to us, I want to buy money, give me money, I want to buy this, a job here. You tell them, no, I don't do that. People get very annoyed, in our language they say, Uganda, in our language they say, no, if it is yours, it has flow. It's the law, it's how it is. And I can't be in light and then act in darkness. Right? So unless I have, because also of the flow, if you are very close to me like a sister, or I might give you something just for the sake, but I know that I'm not buying any favors. God's favors are not bought. It's why we even tell people about prayer. Many of you pray like either God is deaf, or God does not understand, God does not know you, or that God is a supermarket where you just go and put in prayer and things come out. It's much more simpler but also complicated than that. Nobody can influence God to do anything. God already is. God is. Everything is. Otherwise, the people doing bad will not be breathing, because that's the first representative of the manifestation of God, the ability to breathe. The air we breathe is God Himself. So if you are alive, you are in God, you have to just flow in it and find that tuning towards the desire that you have, because desire is the signature. Is a sign that what you want is actually available. So for us to move to that level, we are saying we must develop this capacity not to resist, because what you resist will persist. It is known, it is the law, that whatever you tend to resist will happen more and more until you learn that I have no chance in resisting. Now, because when you resist, you are directing negative energy towards what you are resisting. This is something everyone needs to know. And when you do so, you make it harder for the problem, whatever it is you want to get solved. If you think about your sickness all the time, your sickness, Some of us even feel proud to tell people we are sick. You know, you want to tell people how you did not work, how you're not working, you're sick. You are the one drawing energy to that sickness, feeding it. But the day you learn to ignore it, you say it is not there. It is not there. It will disappear. Now the science kids will come here throwing all kinds of things, saying you are not discouraging people from taking medicine and all. It's fine, but the truth of the matter, even the way what they inject you flows, everything is about flow. It's about non-resistance. It's about getting to that level where you can allow energy to move freely, so that good energy comes to you and bad energy leaves. Good energy comes to you, bad energy leaves. And yours is to be a good antenna that facilitates that kind of process. And that means that you pay attention to your body when you're struggling with something. There are some things you know that there are things you are not letting flow properly. I told you before that all this ease, the lack of ease, is something clogged, is energy clogged, something not moving well in your system, in the ecosystem. Once you learn that there is something not moving well, something either you are blocking yourself or being blocked by the way you are thinking and feeling, and your job is to learn to say what is it so that you can let it go. If it's what about a job, what about money, let it go. It will come. It will come. There is nothing you can do by worrying. I told you one time that when you plant a seed in a garden, you don't stay up all night. Why isn't it coming out? It should come out. Me, I have money, 100 million in the bank. It should come out because I'm strong. Things that happen in this natural realm will flow. Everything is about flowing and you tuning to the right energy that you want. So don't block the flow of the energy coming to you and out of you. It is the normal nature. Things have come to you and out. You breathe in oxygen, take out carbon dioxide. In oxygen, it is a continuous process. So being in the flow allows you to enable that process to continue taking place. And this is the gem, it's the secret. If you look at Mandela, people like Gandhi, they learned this lesson long ago. When Mandela came out of prison, people thought he would come out and, fight, punish all these people. Everything, remember we said, masters know that whatever happens to you is for your good. Even Jesus said, in the Bible, they tell us that everything happens for the good of those who love the Lord, who love God. Everything is for your learning. Ask yourself, what is the lesson? This thing that has befallen me, whether it's a fire that has caught your house, what is the lesson? That's what is important, not all this thinking, all this, worry, because that will never solve anything. So once you learn non-resistance, you become a master. You become like a gem. Mahatma Gandhi said non-violent, for him he said non-violent resistance. Though another gentleman that many people really admire said we'll have also to know the difference between non-violent resistance and non-resistance. Martin Luther King, I think I have his quotation somewhere here. So non-resistance doesn't really mean doing nothing. We also have to know these principles clearly. It does not mean that you are doing nothing. But also doing nothing means doing no thing. But doing nothing is not actually bad. Also, because we said no means next opportunity. That's why we said in the session on the power of the invisible, that what you call nothing is the pregnancy that has not yet shown. Because no is next opportunity. Then the thing that has not yet shown up. So that's why we said do nothing, go be still, and then you will know that I'm good. All creation has to come from nothingness. It is also another principle you have to learn. That's why I had to go through some of those earlier sessions, so that as we talk about these issues, you are a little grounded in some of these principles. So what it means is that whatever you do, it is not reactionary. You are being non-reactionary, and you're operating from a place of wisdom. And remember, wisdom is from experience. If you look in your village, in your lineage, you will notice that the people who are more knowledgeable, the people we say old, have wisdom, they normally don't panic about anything. Almost every problem to them looks like it's not a problem, because they have learned. Now ours is to learn from others. They tell us that clever people learn from others. Fools learn from their own mistakes. But clever people learn from the mistakes of others. So it's why we have to listen to these elderly people on some of these things. So it is an underlying practice. This non-resistance is an underlying practice, especially even in China, all those Eastern countries. They have this thing they call way. I think I did note it somewhere here. You are creating from a place of non-reaction. You are not reacting or stopping anything, and from that you create the best ability to be able to create. And in the martial arts, those guys in China and those neighboring countries, all of them have this. They like fighting, but one of the principles they teach is don't resist the opponent's force. Yield in order to overcome. The problem that you yield to is no longer a problem. This is the simple wisdom, but for those that have ears, just like Jesus said, they will hear. Whatever you learn to accept, it stops being a barrier to you. Stops being a barrier to you, and you are not able to move on to the next step. So this doing nothing when you are in a state of intense presence is very, very powerful. Very powerful, and it's a transformer and a healer of situations and people. It is the every session I do, I can't say this session is better than the next, but this is one of those secrets of mastery of winning. You have learned to be non-resistant. You have learned to surrender. You have learned to be in the flow. It is what makes people win. But after you win, they tell stories. People even say how you have gone to the lake, how you have, they tell us in 70, you turn into cats, these kinds of stories. Yet someone just learns to be in the flow, and when you're in the flow, you're able to hear your intuition very well. You're able to witness synchronicities. Things will come to you. You find you are the one surviving when you are more alert than others. And this is how those who manage. Even what we have managed is because of this feeling that we managed to do on things that many people sometimes, some surprised will be, some surprised. Most things happen when you give up. Imagine if a lady is resisting the pains that come during childbirth. You are not a woman, and I don't think there is any lady here. But do you think a lady would ever give birth? So we said, and we shall have several sessions on pain and why it's also important. Everything good comes from the ability not to be resist even the bad, even the pain. You have to be able to yield to it, and then it will find nothing you to struggle with, and it will pass through and go. We usually use this say be like a sponge. Some of us are like a sponge. People, I don't care whether people like me or they don't, because I'm like a sponge. You hit me, you come out from the other side, and I will go back to the state that I was. You pour water, it goes through, and I stress myself. I tone myself, and all of it is out. I don't keep anything. I don't worry about anything. But it's also come from years and years of learning and attempting to understand these principles. And I want to invite you that if you really want to be a master, learn this practice of non-resistance. In Taoism, Tao is not really a religion. It is anyway like a religion. I told you about this principle they have in China. It's well practiced in China and a number of those countries neighboring. They have this principle in Taoism called Wei, which is usually translated as actionless activity. Many of us don't know that we act more when we don't act. Now, that is if you know what you are doing. It's not about being lazy and just sitting there, but it's about having an intentional sitting quietly and doing nothing. Now, when I was teaching, and correcting children, I used never to like this word of doing nothing. But like they say, life is very good that you keep learning, until I learned that sitting and doing nothing, if you know what you are doing, is the greatest thing. Because we are saying no is next opportunity. So once you know how that, the next opportunity things start in quietness, start in a state where there is nothing seen. If you focus on things that are already seen, you are dealing in other people's stories. You are dealing in other people's energies. If you want to create something of your own, it has to start from nothing. That's why you have to start in your thoughts, in your feelings when nothing is there, and start to create. That's real manifestation. So I'll have a session on manifestation. Though of course we try to not go into the practices because most of you are religious and we take them to be, occult. But it's good to know the principles about how things get to be. And this is, we are saying, in ancient China, this was regarded as one of the highest achievements, not was, it still is, as one of the highest achievements of virtues. To achieve this level of non-resistance, where you are no longer resisting. Me, everywhere I go, like, people are always looking at you like you're something else. And it's hard to explain to people that, it's what it is. It's, I can't change that, I can't shift it, I just have to accept. Because I want to go, I must accept it. It's not that, my daughter one time said, I'm too humble. That you're too humble. It's like I'm really weird. So that when you grow, you'll understand that fighting and struggle is not useful. You will find the struggles you have done, many of them did not yield you anything. If something is to be in the right flow for you, it will flow. And when you find it an obstacle, your job is to bypass it and go so that you can continue your journey. Remember, the journey is yours, not for another person. So this is something that we grow. It's not something that really happens when you drink like water and it comes. You have to grow it, keep catching yourself. Like we said, with bad thinking, bad thoughts, bad words. I hope you are starting with your bad word exercises, catching yourself saying an empowering word and keep changing it. The same thing with this. When you find you are struggling, you are in pain, you are angry, ask yourself, breathe in 3 times, 3 to 10 times, intentionally, then ask yourself, what am I not learning? What am I resisting? What am I stopping that I should let go? What am I letting in that I should not let in? And that is the real wisdom, the real highest power of succeeding in this world. And it's radically different from inactivity. Inactivity is different from creating from nothing, in the ordinary state of consciousness, or rather unconsciousness. So many of us are unconscious. This we have already told you. People don't even know that they have God in them. When you say I am is God himself. And once whatever follows I am, you are bringing God's creative power. You are declaring the thing itself. And but even those of us who are conscious, sometimes we're at the best level. We have been programmed for years and years and years into behaving in particular ways, and it's not easy to change. That's why we're saying, give yourself time, don't judge yourself, grow slowly. It's an unfolding process. So the real nothing, this is what we're telling, the real nothing doing implies inner non-resistance and intense alertness for the next opportunity. Because ideas all come to people. Nobody has ever created anything in this world. Ideas come to you once you are tuned. An idea will come to you. That's why you cannot go on the football pitch and you say you're going to invent anything. Nobody can invent anything when they're in a state of too much thinking. They build that kind of quiet place, then an idea comes. Those who manage the code, many of us, ideas come to us and we never remember them. Because again, we don't know that we're always in the flow. So we are saying embracing this non-resistance is about connecting with the universal flow, with the universal powers of the universe. And one of the guys I really, really like very much, I want to encourage, I did encourage you before, look for videos of Dr. Wayne there. He emphasized that the art of accepting the present moment. I told you, Eckhart Tolle has also written a book on being in the present. It is when you're in the present, that's why it's called the present. We shall have a session on the present. The present is a gift. The only thing you can change is the present, not the past, not the so-called future. And once you learn to really work with the present, so whatever has happened before is not useful. Whatever will happen is not yet if you don't utilize this present. Your real gift is this present. And we are saying in that presence, you should learn not to resist. You should be in the flow. If the force is taking this side, you go that side. That's why the people who are able to swim or do anything on the river, you have to follow where it is flowing. If you go against the current of the river, you know what will happen. So that's what I was saying. You ask, what am I not learning? What am I failing? What am I resisting? So that you know the current. If it's going to the right, go to the right. To the left, you go to the left, so that you can live in harmony. Remember, we said the goal is to achieve harmony always. So instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, we are saying consciously choose to let them go and replace them with thoughts of positivity, self-belief, and possibility. You don't have to resist them. Don't say they will not come. They will come whether you want it or not. But don't resist them. When they come, smile at them, then bring in good thoughts. Bring in things that make you happy. Tell yourself of the great things you have done or great things you can do or the great power of God that is within you. So this process may involve reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. This has been said over and over again, that the people who achieve always see opportunities in challenges. And when you find a problem, you know there is something for you to learn, that it's a learning opportunity and an incentive for you to grow. Because remember, I told you, once it goes through you, it's like many people go through this so-called heartbreak. Before it happens to you, it will break you. But when it has happened to you and you learn the lesson, you start flowing. The flow is so good, nothing breaks you anymore. It's like I was telling someone, we all grew up being told stories of genes and things that move in the night, animals that will eat you if you're outside. You fear all these kinds of things until you challenge yourself to be out alone, move alone when you don't have anyone to move with and you still have to go home. And then you learn actually there is no animal to eat you. There is no genes, there is no evil spirit coming to attack you. So all the things that they usually threaten you with, they are not there. Now we shall have probably many other sessions about fear and how to stop it. But when you really understand you begin to act again, not feeling struggle. Stop the struggle because it was all unfolding. Yes, you go through them. So remember, you do not have to believe anything you think. Many times our mind is a beehive of activity. Over 1 million thoughts every hour. This, that, jumping from this to the other. Now the challenge, many of us want to believe everything we think. But just ask yourself how many times you have changed your mind. That's why we say think from the heart and think from the heart, then feel from the mind. When you task the mind to feel something, then it is more calmer. It is because it wants to understand, then it settles down. But many of us think something immediately, we start judging, we give it energy, we get angry, you start judging people, you start judging yourself, and then you give it energy and you find your issues, until again you go on seeing, accepting it, go through you, and it's like coldness. It is very cold when you are resisting it, but once you know it is cold, it is cold. I mean, your body will actually even be metamorphosed by itself. The body is made for that, and you find you are not feeling the cold that much, or even the cold at all. So you can train your brain to shut down the noise. That's why we encourage meditation. Some people find it helpful also to label these thoughts as noise from their own negative committee, or some people what call it, your different parts. Like we said, we all have like two people. Something tells you this, another thing is telling you, but is that good? Will it be helpful? So you know that there is where those bad empowering thoughts come from. You can start to help yourself to know, oh, that one is from that side. Let me let it be. I think you have come back. Like you have to learn to talk to your thoughts as well, accept them, but let them flow in and out, until they find, when they find they have no space, they'll stop coming. If you, for example, people who threaten you that people are either abusing you, talking bad about you, some of us who know that you cannot talk bad about me, and it does not matter. Even if you told me I have found 100 people there talking bad about you, saying this, it will not enter into my system. And it's because we have learned these important principles about flow, about non-resistance. What people say is their business. It has nothing to do with you. It's their thoughts. It's their heart situation. Why are you bringing it into your body? Not helpful. And I put a quote here for you. from one dialogue that peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. People will say whatever they say, whether you want it or not. People will do whatever they want to do, whether you want it or not. It will rain whether you want it to rain or not. So that's why I told you, even when you get fixated with power and think you can change everything, you find you can't even change anything. You know, there is a joke, not a joke, but something funny. They used to tell us that when we are teens, we think we can change the world. We have energy and know everything that can change the world. When you are in your 20s, you realize you cannot change the world. There is a country you come from. You want to change the country. You believe the whole country is being run badly, you can change it. When you are in your 30s, you realize that you cannot even change the whole country, you cannot manage. Then you think you can change your community. You work, you think everything in your community, you can organize it because you know your community, it is where all your parents are, it's where your heritage is. You work so hard. At 40, you realize you cannot change your community. Then you struggle, you say, now I can change my family. You work hard, children should act like this, should be like this, the wife should behave like this, and you work. Then at 50, you realize you cannot even change your family. Children are behaving the way they want, your wife is not listening as much as you do, and your power is not working at all. And so at 60, you wake up and realize, you cannot even change your family. You need now to change yourself. And that's why you see the mature people, some people may say they are selfish, but they start to focus on themselves more. Then you realize, it's me who needs to change. That, I will not struggle with every cloth someone puts on, because that struggle is going to be so long. Some children even carry clothes somewhere, dressed, then they go, you find they are dressed. So if someone calls you and tells, your daughter is so hard dressed here in a miniskirt, and you run the battles you're going to run in this world. So you learn that it's better to talk to your child, encourage them, tell them the implications, and let them pick whatever they pick, because they're going to reach an age where you cannot do anything. They will dress whatever they want. So what were you fighting in the first stage? So it is that ability to you do the necessary, but let it be taken in. Don't teach people, and that's why I was saying that at the beginning you're very concerned about numbers, that we have very few. No, me, if I post in the group, I've done my bit. I cannot say people should come, because I don't know their situation. I cannot say we should have 30 people, 100. No. Those who are ready to learn, they will, especially for you who are lucky to see this kind of information. I told you before, not really to brag, God forgive me, this kind of knowledge is not knowledge you just find anywhere. I've also synthesized it over years, and you see I even take time to write into a PowerPoint. But for those who are ready, they will find it. Those who don't, I can't control them. I can't. It's not my job. My job is to make sure if anyone asks for it, that I'm able to deliver it. That's what God has put in me, and I have to give it out to the world. So you have to be in this universal flow, and it means you know yourself. That's why we get that section on know thyself. Know thyself. And once you know that you have power, the power you have the power to study things like me and understand them and judge things, read all occult books, and still be able to maintain some level of spiritual groundedness. God has given you that. It's you to do it, and it comes from that ability to be calm. That nothing excites you, nothing will take you to heaven. I was telling my wife the other day that it's the law that every time you are very excited, there will be something to bring you down, because the world has been maintained at a balance. Without calm, the world is not resting. So once it goes up, it must come down. It's the law. Once you are appointed to a job, there will be a day you lose it. Once you are born, there is a day you will die. That's the law. We should just take it like that. So the masters know that no, I don't have to be very excited. I don't have to be angry, annoyed, because it's not useful. I have to keep calm as much as I can. So the first step is to become aware that you are resisting something. That's what I said. Once you notice that the challenge, take whatever positive and ethical action you can. Take the right, in that time. Things will come. Things will hit you. Things bad or unbecoming things or undesirable things come to all people. But we are saying notice them and then do whatever you can't change. You know the things you can change. And then remember that serenity prayer, the things you can change, the things you can't change, and the difference between the two. If you find someone is the policeman or the gatekeeper locking the gate, you have don't come and say they are useless. Who are you? I know the manager. They are the ones on the gate. They can stop you from entering that place. You will call your so-called friend, the manager, and he's not speaking the whole day. Or he might even tell you, here the manager is the one who has seen people. Like I used to tell people I tell people at my company that I cannot recruit anyone. There are people who will work with you. They notice if they notice something in you, they will recruit you. Me, I'm no longer in that because I have no capacity or opportunity to be with you all the time and be able to note whether you are good enough to work with us or not. And I already surpassed that area of recruiting people for the sake. So everything has the way it flows, and you have planning. Don't judge it. Don't judge anything. Flow. If someone is angry, you talk to them. Flow off. Why do you want to flow to them? You know what is going to happen. Someone is warning you. Don't just say, find that ability to take the most positive step, even if it's running, run, going, go, coming, come, giving good words, give good words. Whatever it is you do, trust that the action you have taken, because it is positive and ethical, it is the correct action, and you receive the same back one way or another. There are people who call us wanting money many times. They think you have money for every problem in this world. It's one of the things I struggle with. Even now, I can't say I've recovered fully. People think you have a lot of money to solve all their problems. It's only the past year and so that I have learned that it's not possible that anyone can solve anyone's problem. Even if you give money to people like billions of shillings, you cannot solve anyone's problem. And the more you tell people how to get themselves in order and also to act within what they have, the more you are going to come towards, being calm also, not putting yourself under pressure, and helping them also to understand. If all of us, those of you who are lucky to have people you can run to and they give you money, but money is hardly acquired like that. Not even for the previous generations, not even now, not even in the future. And if there's nothing you can do, let it be and forget about it. People will call you names, they might think you are called, but it's how it is. There's nothing you can do. For example, someone has decided they are going to stay somewhere long, and you want to pull them. If they've decided, you have let them be. If someone is sick, very sick, and you're not a doctor, or you are not, you're telling them to heal themselves out spiritual and they are not, let it be. There's nothing much you can do. So we're saying this law of non-resistance, it helps you to remove and dissolve every obstacle in life. And I hope you really remember that the law of non-resistance helps you to remove and dissolve every obstacle in life. Whatever looks big becomes small all of a sudden because you are not resistant. So this law of non-resistance is highly related to your life purpose. Remember, we said all of us are here on earth to fulfill a particular purpose. All of us, billions as we are, everybody has a purpose. We said find your purpose in self-mastery. Ask God, what is my purpose? Let me know what I need to know. Now, as it unfolds, many times it's about non-resistance. Every time you are listening to something, God or the Supreme Energy is telling you, realign, learn something here, notice this, don't do this, or you need to do this quicker. And once you learn that tuning in, you will find you're always moving very well, including when you find the traffic unexpected, or you pass a road and you find there's an accident there, or they are stopping cars there. No, it is all for your good. Don't resist. Don't force. There are many, many examples people have said of synchronicities and coincidences. They were rushing through something, or someone else rushed through and they went and had something undesired. So when you learn not to resist, it means you are getting further away from your life's purpose. When you keep resisting. And when life is simple, easy, and fun, then you are in the right direction. It is the law. The way to tell whether you are okay is when everything in your life is light, you are feeling okay, there's fun, you're doing what you love, But if every day you're working and feel under pressure, feel that things are not working well, feel people don't like you, you know you are not in your purpose. Remember, we said everything God has done according to purpose. Even time is created according to purpose. I was telling people the other day, some people have not started living according to the purpose of God. So they have not even spent a day on earth, even when they are 50. Because God will count purpose. Purpose. Have you fulfilled your purpose? We shall have a session on purpose as well as fulfillment. Further go deeper into this. But I thought that today we can spend some time grounding ourselves in this principle of non-resistance. And this law applies to other things as well, like prosperity. If you want, many of us try to get things, to get wealth, to get rich. In health, I said every time you feel sick, ask yourself, what are you resisting? Sickness, or what we call disease. Disease is a lack of ease. So when you are non-resistance, you are at ease. But once you remove, you are no longer at ease, then you get disease, the lack of ease, and then you get those things they call sickness. And that's why when we tell people you can heal yourself of any disease, people think it is just talk or religious dogma. Nothing about it. It is the same whether you look at it spiritually, scientifically, it's the same thing. There are many diseases, they just calm you. Even the medicine they give in the hospital is about calming you, calming your body, calming some of your, overexcited cells or the dangerous bacteria or viruses. They calm them down and then, or boost the, the natural immune system, the cells that fight the enemies that attack your body. It is the principle. God has built it in your body. It's how it is. And you have to be under resistance to enable the good forces to flow and do their work. And we know that resistance is created by our limiting beliefs and fears. Many of us, once we start putting the limitations, I will achieve this by this time, I will do this, I must do this, this is it, this is how it is done, this is how it is achieved. And if you don't do this, you lose your job. All these limitations you put on yourself, all these boundaries you put on yourself, you are killing the natural flow. And that's why we start to, resist. But people who learn to ease, they find that they can go through all those, if they're saying you must be married at this time, you must be married in church, well, desirable, but that's society, not good. If it has not happened in a non-resisting way, it's not yet. It's how it is. So by our opinion of how something or someone should be, is how many of us get headache. All the headache diseases come from someone says something and you're already judging why they should not have said that. They should not have done that. That is what is getting many people sick. That's why we feel pain. We don't forgive others. In summary, most diseases are a result of stress and unforgiveness. This is the scientific as well as spiritual, including cancer. They are either of those three things: fear, either fear, unforgiveness. If you don't forgive, it's because you think people should not have done something. People should not do this. And then, of course, also over expectation, expecting a lot from others, and then you get disappointed. So if you can learn to manage those, you won't find that your life is flowing very, very well. Keep yourself, learn to let go of the fears and limiting beliefs, and trust, have faith that the universe is always working towards what is best for you. This is the whole Bible is summarized in this simple. It's what they're telling us. Trust God. You are one with God. God is working out things. The supreme energy is in you. Don't take those obstacles. Those are not your obstacles. They're just realigning you the right path. Have faith that all things are working out for your good. And once you learn to be in that plan, you don't force things. Then you will find that you are achieving much more than others. So the question is, how do you achieve this? How do you do it? I told you I would share some tips here. So one is put your attention to what you say. Remember we said words create. Words create. Words create. Words are the creators. Try to resist something negative by not using words like don't, can't, won't, not. I can't manage. That's people even put a whole clan and they say our clan does not do this. It's you people creating that situation. through your collective use of these kinds of words. Instead, replace your words to attract and embrace something positive. And use words like I am, I deserve, I embrace, I would like, or I like. It is you are an active participant. We said God is the absolute power, but the way God is, we said, there's a simple secret that is not a secret that people know. That God, however much He likes you, cannot do anything for you. Has put everything for you, and you're the one to do. You are the doer. You are the doer of things. I usually give people an example of, if you don't plant a crop, it will never plant itself. Yet that's where every harvest comes from. So if you plant and you don't, it is either dry and you don't, water your plant, it will still not mature. Whether God loves you, whether you pray every night, you do overnight, it will not make your plant grow. If it needs water, you must give it water. Now, if you don't weed, there are going to be things that attack that plant. It's how the world is. You're not there alone. In this world, you're not there alone. It's like saying, because you're in tune, you are tuned to God, then nothing, people are going to come to challenge you. It's the law. For you to prove you are strong, you have gone through several challenges. Nobody wins the competition by not being challenged. So the plant has also to get challenged in order to grow and fulfill itself towards harvest, towards being fruitful. So if it finally grows and you have, weeded it well, and it grows, and you don't harvest the plant, it will rot there in the garden. You have to go. Now imagine you have harvested. If you harvest and you don't pick it from the barn where you have kept it, it will not cook itself until you cook it. And to cook, you have to get water, a saucepan or whatever you're using to cook. You have to get energy, firewood or electricity or gas, whatever it is you're using. And if you get them and don't switch them on, still they will not cook by themselves. So always the human has something they have to do. They have something to do. You have to know this. And we are saying your biggest power is in your words. So even after you cook, so you have put them there, you cook. If you cook and you don't know when to stop cooking, what will happen? The things will be cooked to a level where they cannot be consumed. So you have to know the right kind of cooking. After that, you have to serve. If you serve the food and you don't touch it, what will happen? Will it quench your hunger? So you still have to get the food from the plate and eat it. And if you put in your mouth and don't do anything, what will happen? If you just swallow it, it can even kill you. Your own plants that you have put in a lot of labor. You have to break it down into bits, and then and if you don't swallowing is an energy. You even cracking things into smaller bits is an energy. So we are always working with energy to create that which we want. It's what we are created to do. Come here and represent God, represent God, to give glory to God. And we have always something to do. And many times in this law here, we are saying non-resistance is plan when we don't do anything. Like when you are cooking, you wait. When you plant, there is a time for waiting. It's not that when you plant, you're always there doing something. No. In all those places, there is a lot of time for waiting. It's that non-resistance of but assured. You plant, you relax, your things are growing. You weed, you relax, your things are growing. You harvest, you dry them, you struggle with rain is coming, you come, get them off, put them back in the house. But you know that you are drying them so that they can stay longer over a long period of time as you also wait, as you eat some and wait to plant the next season. It is that we are saying that pay attention to what you say and what of course you have to do. Secondly, we are saying be aware of your energy and make sure the energy flows. That's what I was actually explaining in all that example. That always be responsible for your energy. You're going to do a session on energy. Do regular guided meditations, train your mind so that the mind can swim with the flow of life. You have to go with things the way they are going. You have to be aware. Many of us are not aware of who we are, what kind of situation we are in, what is happening. And this gentleman, Eckhart Tolle, I told you, Eckhart Tolle said, the power of now is the real power of non-resistance. Once you always learn to act with what is there, Me at home, my wife even asks me, what do you want to eat? And I tell her that I'm no longer at that frequency. Like, what is there is what I eat. It's when you grow, you stop having this, I must eat this, I must. Because if I say I want to eat it and I find you have not prepared it, you see, I've put myself in a situation of struggle. But once I train myself, may I eat one meal? What I eat is what I eat. What is there is what I eat. I'm eating to energize my body, not to go picking that. When I have the time, I can eat, and God has blessed me, I can eat anything that I want. So I cannot be there saying that I can't eat, that I can't. No. So once you learn how to utilize your energy, where you give your energy, what you give into, what energy you allow in, what energy you give, that is real mastery. And that usually happens with non-resistance. There are people who are so negative that they can switch off all your light, the light within you. Mahatma Gandhi also said that non-violence is the weapon of the strong. So non-resistance, the same, is the weapon of the strong. Nobody who is weak can be, they're always looking for someone to blame for something. And that's one way you know you have matured. If you find in every situation you're not blaming anybody, or you are still blaming, there's something you're still not accepting. But when the situation happens and you're looking for what can you do, you change something, then you know you have grown. You're no longer resisting. If someone will say that, for example, I will not do this, they will not do it. For me, if I want water, I ask my children to bring it and they can't bring it, I'm going to bring it myself. So either they are busy or there's something happening. Instead of going in a red, how can you not do? Did you hear? I told you. It's, those are the things going to cause you disease. Because there are things you're not accepting. That actually you can send a child for water and at the same time they want to go to the loo. And that's more urgent for them. Or they were taking something else, they want to drop it first, then bring you the water. Or they did not hear well. But when you have a mind that speaks judge, you're always going to be generating all these kinds of thoughts. How dare you? How do I tell you this and you don't answer? How do you come late at office? But once you notice, you learn to notice when a problem, a challenge arises, and stop for a moment and acknowledge it. Do your part. And if it is taking longer, do what you do your part. If it's taking longer than usual, solve it, then change your strategy. See what else you can do. And we said if you can't, leave it. See what other options are. Seek perspectives from others. What do we do? Learn to ask people, what do we do? What we do in this situation? You never know who can come up with an answer. They tell us an example of a factory that makes cars so they say it was in India, and they made this new brand of car that was going to be a new seller in the world. And when it was done, they have tested it in the garage, in the factory, it's working well, everything. So they have decided to take it out. And then they find that it cannot get out. It is an inch, and they already had the order. It was an inch, not even an inch, slightly longer than the gateway to pass. And they were all there. They said they had done all the measurements very well. They had everything looked very fine. And they were there stuck. All the creative people, the managers, and there was the guard, the gatekeeper who was passing by, and he saw the problem and he said, "Can I help?" And they said, "What can you help?" He said, "That situation you are having, tell them please reduce the pressure of the tires, and the car will be able to pass through very well." It's many times we don't think, we get fixated again from the programming that other people don't have knowledge. Knowledge is available in the cosmos. We all just pick from it. Nobody owns any knowledge. It's why we are also giving free, because when you grow, you realize that there's nothing you own in this world. Not even the breath you breathe, not even everything is passing through you and going. So this whole hallucination or bad programming that you own any knowledge, you own copyrights, you own blah blah, there's nothing you own. You're just a tower that has come to do its role, receive some energy, do some things, and enjoy life. And while at it, of course, master some things and help others along the way. Like we said, we are here for others. We are fruitful. Fruits are meant for other people, not for yourself. So seeking other opinions is not really that you're stupid, it's knowing. When you are a master, you know that other people have a lot of knowledge, even the person you least expect. Remember, life is simple and easy if you master it. And that's why we're talking about mastery. So that your life is easy. So that you know how to sleep on a cup of water if it's what is available. Or even on an empty stomach. There are people who do it by force. But if you can learn to do it in peace, then you will know that when it should happen, there will be no issue. Then number 4, we're saying when you notice that you are resisting, ask yourself if you can accept and forgive the situation at hand. If there is a time my son was washing one of my cars, and I think he was throwing up a bucket to throw water, and he threw it on the windscreen and it broke. So he told me his story, and I said it's okay, and he couldn't believe it. And when the mother came, my wife said that he's going to beat him. I said, why? But of course, I've also learned not to interfere. The way the mother behaves with her children and wants to discipline them, not everybody is at the same level with you. You know, that's the other secret in mastery. You must learn people to live their lives. You are not here to control anybody. Because if you attempt, you will not manage. Even the person that looks controllable here, once you get out like this, you are doing the opposite. Then tomorrow you get, and once you put it in, you think you can control them, then you're going to be sick all the time thinking they do not do what they're supposed to do. And this is what we are saying: you should forgive yourself. Stop resisting people. Just show them the light. Light, shine your light, shine your light, shine your light. Let it light for others. If they see, they see. If they also get vision, the better. And that's what all we are doing. Last year, I think we talked about light. Light is the true real source of creation, and we are now giving you more of this so that you master. Light is that creative force, the clarity that you are God, you are one with God, God is in you, and you can achieve what you want if you learn the laws of life and the laws of nature, and you learn to flow within them. Once you have that light, and that your initiation is your thoughts and feelings, and if you can sustain a feeling and thought in that which you want, it will have no choice but come to you. It is the law. It is the law. But we keep getting swayed. We think others are responsible for our life. So we're saying you will know that you have succeeded at it when you feel lighter, you feel free, aligned, and expanded. But every time you feel things are choking you, you are, not feeling well, everything seems like you're struggling. Like me, if this was not right, I would not do it. But you can see internet goes off, I come back. If I'm late, I tell you I'm late. Like, there's no struggle with it. Because I'm on my purpose. I don't have to struggle with it. I don't have to quarrel with anyone. I don't have to feel any. So it's that you want to seek to always be in alignment and stop resisting anything. Okay. So to get this home as we conclude, we are saying that let's learn to be non-resistant. Let's learn to be in the flow. It is the secret of success, of mastery, of a fulfilled life. And here I'm giving you the example of water. Look at water bodies. Look at a river, for example. See how it winds rocks and passes over them. Look at where rivers pass to bring the water that you drink, or to throw water in a lake. Rivers start as small streams and run through boulders, through all these valleys and stones. They run through fallen trees, decayed leaves. But they bring you the clean, most crisp water, despite the fact that they pass through all that. So don't look at that challenging situation and think that it is going to affect you because you have passed through it. No, the water does not come with the dirt that it passes over. It has learned not to resist. If it finds an obstacle, it goes over. It knows it cannot remove the stone. It cannot remove the mountain. It can even go across the mountain. Why? If God who created these things knows this law, all things are operating under that law, and you are the master of God, God's representative, master of all other things, you should be the master of this as well. So we are saying that this river winds and winds its way around and around every time taking towards its goal. It continues moving towards its goal, which is going to another river. Every river goes towards another river, another water body. And that's how we manage to keep having enough water across. So stop putting up fights when faced with obstacles. Run around them, flow around them. Don't resist them. Nobody, even I'm sure if you grew up, I see these days memes of African mothers. I'm sure many of us were beaten for resisting to be beaten. Actually, many of the kiboko of the caning you would get was for resisting to be caned. Every time you resist, these lessons have been there since we are born. Every time you resist, they send you, and you are resisting to be sent. You will be beaten. They tell you to eat and you refuse. Most of the things that you have suffered have been because of resistance. And why? It's because you will wear out and break down. When you resist, now imagine there is a force coming and you're resisting it. Let's say there is a big wind and you are there saying it must stop, it must stop. It's going to slow it down. The one who goes across it and lets it pass is going to avoid the friction, the opposition, and the resistance. And we still have their energy. Remember, we are all energy. The energy you spend is getting away from you. So you have to maintain your energy. There is the law of you have to maintain your energy integrity. We talked about these laws, energy integrity. You have to keep your energy. You have to save your energy. The law of God is that you have to minimize waste. Energy cannot be wasted. So when you resist, you're actually wasting energy. You're putting energy where it shouldn't be, where it does not do anything. That's why people will tell you someone who is in government, they are doing what they are doing. They are the ones there. They have the force they have. If you resist them, you're going to be struggling and fighting. You will be in prison saying how you are right. Yet the guy who was humble is already at home. So then you ask, who is the fool? Who is not learning? Remember, the fool is not a bad person. He's the one who does not learn. And remember, we said we are here to learn. So when you see people very humble, greeting their askaris on the road, greeting the soldiers or these people in the situation, asking kindly, greeting before they ask, you will just go and ask someone, they say, you are not even greeting me, go and ask another person. Some of the cultures that we have are also teaching us this very principle. Be humble to people. When you meet people, you're supposed to greet them first, because that enters you into their realm, benefit from their energy as well. Because you have to be invited in. If they don't invite you in, you cannot come in. Because people in the world have your goods, just like you have goods of other people. It's why we are called to be fruitful. So again, have a session on what it means to be fruitful. So we are saying, once you want to be in this flow like a river, you will become so occupied. If you don't learn, you will become so occupied with fighting and lose sight of the objectives that you want to achieve. They tell us water is very strong. We're going to have a session very soon on water. Water can even break rocks if it persists. But it's going to waste a lot of time. Remember, its job is to flow towards another river, another water body, while giving river to whoever is on its banks or near, and creating life, because that's its role. If it does not do that, it has not served its purpose. So remember, your goal, your purpose is what matters. So keep focused on the objective or the desire that you have, and stop worrying about it not coming, not happening, the time it will come. And even in this law of non-resistance or surrender is the key thing in manifestation. They tell us after you have reached your thing. Remember, we said there is female, negative, and positive for anything to create. Yin, yang, positive, negative energy. The positive is the energy that is having the seed, the desire, and then spreading it. So you said, Earth, universe, God, this is what I need. But then there has to be the one that receives. You also have to have a female energy that pulls energy from the world. And say, please, you call in that energy that will enable you, because there has to be a female part for creation to happen. And the three must always work together. The distributing energy, the seeding energy, the receptive energy, as well as the energy that is focused on the goal of what you want. Both must be working well together in order to bring up forth what you want. And both are not for struggling. Once you call it, there is nothing to struggle for in this life. Nothing. Going to the loo, many of you have tried. You can go to the loo and struggle. If it's not the time of the flow to come out, whether the flow front or behind, it will not. These things have their natural flow. When it's in time, you will go and it will happen so well. Than saying it must happen at this time, it must happen at this time. That's childishness, and it wastes a lot of your time and effort. So preserve your energy so that you can win. And win today, win tomorrow, win all the time. Okay, so we are saying again that the stream has more obstacles at the beginning. Remember, these things, we use them metaphorically sometimes, but also they are key things for the plan. That right now, the challenges you have are many. Because you are learning, you are starting. The stream has more obstacles at the beginning, but as it grows and drops into bigger streams, remember, you find the stream will come, the river, there will be a smaller river, it goes becoming bigger as others drop into it. As its path becomes easier, the bigger it gets. So also, as you learn more things, as you get more people have learned, you find that things are much, much simpler. So bear with the resistance right now. You'll find it's easier even to pass over a big rock. If you go in many water bodies, you'll find there are, there are a lot of huge stones, a lot of big growth, and either sometimes the water can even pass on top or just circumvents very easily around it. So the wise, remember, our job in mastery is to become wise, and the wise ones don't fight obstacles. They bless them and move on. You look at an obstacle, you notice it, then you move on. You notice it, thank God it is there. It has helped you to slow down and not to knock it, because if you knock it, you will injure yourself, and you move on towards the objective. I encourage you again to read the Matthew 43-48. I think this is, you open it for me, you read it towards the end. Tell us, remove any enmity against anyone, and you will not attract any such enemy. It is the law. It is the law. It is the law. If someone hates you, do the opposite. Because when you hate them back, it will be like the majority of the people don't want to grow, who want to keep in suffering. If you resist them, because you represent God. God is supposed to be loving. Love. They told the law is love. Love your God, love others as you love yourself. If you love yourself, you will not put burden on yourself. So, enmity against anyone will attract. We mean if you hold it, it will attract more enmity, and more disease, more strife in you. So, not resisting favors you and takes you from the other, it takes you from their weapon of hate or displeasure. Remember, for them, those people who hate you, give you displeasure or disturb you, want to use it as a weapon on you. So you deny them. When you ignore them, you deny them that weapon. It's like you have got the weapon and thrown it down, so they have nothing to fight you with. They abuse you, you smile. They curse you, you know you are blessed, because you know where your blessing comes from. You don't struggle with anyone. So the stone in the stream cannot stop you from flowing to the next river, the next sea, or the next lake. It's how it is. Ignore the hard conditions and you remove them. The same with sickness. Ignore the sickness and it will go. It's why we usually tell people here, do you know why mad people don't get sick? Have you found them in hospital? Because they don't know sickness. Sickness only is there because you give it attention. We are so attentive to sickness. We put a lot of energy on it. These are just simple conditions coming in you, and if it's external to you and it has nothing inside the attracting it, it cannot last, whatever it is. It's like dust that comes on you. If it will go as you walk, it is going off, because you're not giving it attention. But if you give the dust attention, you will even touch there and say, where is the dust? As you touch it, you're also picking it, touching somewhere else, putting there the same dust, instead of it falling away naturally, the way God intended things to be. Okay, and we are saying that the Bible also tells us that agree with thine adversary quickly. To agree with your opponent leaves them defenseless. It's why really I wish people can read the Bible both as a spiritual book, but also as a book of wisdom, as a book of learning. All the lessons that you want in life are there if you can give yourself a chance to learn. Just say, argue with the adversary quickly. Argue with the opponent quickly, as quickly as possible. If they say this, okay, and you go on. But the more you resist, someone says you are stupid, you say, okay, and you go. Don't stay with them. Because once they told you I'm stupid, I even passed, I even went to this school. Many of us usually, you want to bring out your certificates and show. They will then say you failed it. Then like they will bring out, because remember their job is to make you feel. But when you tell them whatever they have said is right. I saw this meme again. Someone said that someone approached someone and asked them, how do you manage to be so calm and not to be fighting with anyone, despite the fact that they keep hitting at you? And the gentleman said, I always tell them you're right. Then this guy said, but that cannot be. You cannot always say that people are right. Then he told this guy, you are right. And I hope you pick the lesson. That people have mastered, they know. If you tell people they are right, you have weakened them. You are right. I'm clever than you are right. All the struggles we put up with people are useless. There's nothing for you to be worried about. Nothing. It's if you know, you know. So if you know God loves you, even if a person tells you are going to be that you are cursed, you know the truth. That's why if you have the light, if you have God in you have when you have light, it makes darkness disappear. That's why we say have knowledge, have the right knowledge, and the right knowledge is light. And once you have light, whatever else, sickness is not there. Sickness does not exist. It's just bad energy in you. And if you can let it flow out, it will go. It will go. It goes all the time. It's what even your so-called medicine is doing. Making your clothes or clogs to disappear. Bring ease, reawakening, sleeping, clogged energies in your system, so that now you can flow very well with the ins and outs of the world. And we are saying that use the power of this law to attain your higher rights. Use the power of this law to attain your higher rights. Everything you're going to get in this world, the topmost things are going to come because you're not resisting. It is the law. It is when we attain these higher rights, they defend themselves. You hear people saying that you throw something at them. Some people even call others witches. That one, you go to do something, you find it catches another person. You go to malign them, hearing this thing, they get another person talking very great things about it without even their effort. So when you attain those higher rights, they fight for themselves. Like you will see in this world, you meet people telling you many things even about me, myself. People say so many things about Jesus himself. But because of when you do your work genuinely, things will work themselves out. You don't have to worry about anything. So even if they accuse you and say, there's a case here that happened, sorry to refer to politics, I'm not really a fan of politics, but there's this gentleman they took to court over rape, basically. And he decided not to plead anything in court, keep quiet. And there was a justice called Katusi that time, I think he died. May his soul rest in peace. In his ruling, he said he had never seen a very funny, concocted case brought against a very noble person. That he cannot even believe someone sat through that whole trial, not saying anything but appearing every day from prison. He sits through, listens and decides not to say anything. He said that the prosecution did not even prove the littlest of, you can read it. But what I'm proving is that people are using this law. So the guy decided not to resist it. What you resist is what grows. So that went and the world forgot about it. So even if they accuse you, sometimes you just let it be. The world will work itself out and you'll be exonerated. And this brings us as we come to this issue of. So we're saying that from the, it's what we mean when we say we're protected by God, because we have achieved non-resistance. Like some of us, me, I'm sure there's no ill that can come to me. It cannot. Why? I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing at all. If it hits upon me, I will find ways of letting it pass. I will know there's something I need to learn from it. Either I'm in a bad area or whatever it is, and move on. It's the only way. It's how it is. And this brings us to the concept of meekness. It's what meekness means. Be meek. Meekness does not mean that you are submissive and weak, disorder. Because we all have issues. I have, for 3 years, I had the land issue. People come and take over your land, and you wonder, what do I do? You struggle, you see you're not winning. But when I learned this, I decided to withdraw, be non-resistant. It's my land, it is my land. Whatever they do, they will get off. I know it. So something you learn. But by the time I learned, I had put in a lot of money to fight. You find you're fighting with some big soldiers, all these land grabbers. Look, this is going to break you. You have gone into their game, got caught. They even take people to South Africa to go for a holiday, and the coach is not sitting, and you think you're going to win that game. Because for them, they know what they are doing. Now you also come in the game. But when you start withdrawing your energy, you start letting things flow. Everything, even storms come before there is calm. So things will come, look like they are winning. Actually, this guy, Mahatma Gandhi, the one who said that at first they dismiss you, then they criticize you, and then you win. Winning does not happen immediately. You don't plant to then the crop comes out. It has to have some time. And we said the crop must first die before it can grow into something else. So even you, if you don't be non-resistant, if you don't die to any pressure, you cannot come again with the right energy to live life and live it fully, live it fruitfully. So we are saying that it gives you, meekness gives you strength. It means you don't give, when you are meek, you are not giving strength to the adversary. Or that, it's like Paul is saying, Satan has done this, you are the one giving the so-called Satan energy. What do I have to do with Satan? I don't even mention him. He cannot do anything to me because I'm not giving him my energy. If you do anything that's Satan, do this Satan. Let an idea come to you, and the process whether it's not good for you. If you know you have not done something not good, leave it. Satan has nothing to do with you. There's someone who said that that man, if he's a man, that you accuse him for no reason. Even the things you do by yourself, you want to accuse Satan. Yet Satan, like we said, Christ and Satan are all in you. These are figurative things. Christ is the one who is one with God, who is awakened. Then the Satan is the one who is denying it, who is always telling you there are issues, you are not one, and when you do those things in that way, that's when you have light. But when you go through all that and you are one with God, you know that whatever it is you're facing, as long as you remain meek, you will be able to go through. So do not confuse meekness with weakness. Live wisely. One must be strong and positive, but live meek. We must live meek. We must know there are things we can't change, especially other people. It's one reason I have also, I have learned it has taken me long to learn that you cannot change people. However good-willed you are. However, that's why you see in our country here in Uganda, the government has come up with, I don't know how many programs, poverty. That's politics. You cannot get people from poverty. It's not possible. All the programs will not, it's people, until you learn that you cannot change anyone. You go in every village, even in your own village, in your own family, there are poor people. And you think that you can stop poverty for anyone. But of course, we say these things, we live through them, and until you become wise and learn, there is nothing much you can do other than to, again, give people light. That's why last time we said, shine your light, and it's what I'm doing. Now I have come back to basics. After going through all this learning, if people don't have the true light, they will never see well. They will never get good visions. So to live wisely, one must be strong and positive, but not live meek. Because there are many forces out, and some are for your good, some not for your good. Both let them go. The thing not good for you cannot stay with you unless you give it time, unless you identify with it. So you do not argue about having rights. That's why all these things, this is my right, they are stopping my rights. When you win an argument, reaching this level of non-resistance is when you win an argument by refusing to argue. Me, I used to argue a lot, but these days, even when the pain, even when something is itching me to enter, now I have learned to tell myself, it's not easy. Because you're not like, there's nothing, you're just going to injure yourself. And many times, even if you are right, so to say, you find a person will now have insults at you. That's why when you leave them feeling right, and you're right, they will also learn it later, and then they will find it doesn't matter. Let them also go through their growth process until we're at that level where we cannot really be at one moment, be in Christ, knowing that we are one people and we are one with God, and that we are here also to be with God, and we are different levels of understanding. That's why they tell us to forgive and to love, because whatever the one is, it is doing its bit. It is doing its bit to teach. It's like different said. Jesus said that we are all part of the same body of Christ. You don't say that your finger is wrong, your foot is wrong, your hair is wrong. All are doing something for you to learn. So when the hair is too much, either you cut it or you trim it, whatever it is that your job is. But if you resist and you just want to pull it always, forcing always, you will end up with a lot of injuries that you shouldn't have got. So we accept the terms of nature in order to live life harmoniously. We don't go and start removing hills or creating them. Look at air, look at water, look at soil. They're always all adhering. Always. What you put in the soil, it matures. It does not ask whether you prayed last night, whether you had an overnight. When you drink water, the water does not refuse and say, you filled someone, I will not allow you to quench your thirst. The air, you think someone who has just slept a girl, the air will refuse to go into them? It was made for that. It is flowing. It is flowing to whoever can breathe it in. It's how the world is. It is the law, and once you learn it, you are going to teach that extreme mastery. And when we apply this principle of meekness in your daily life, your life will become appropriately blessed. You are going to be the envy of all. Like, people will not understand you, but they will also know you live in another world. You are like, nothing bothers you. Nothing. And if we've all been there, I usually see you can find what is disturbing you when, for example, you have a young child. The young child can urinate on you, can defecate on you, and you don't mind. You clean it very, very well. But let a child of 5 years do it. You even hit the guy's head, you can even make them go nuts. Now, it's these things that will go on growing. Now, if you keep in that sort of child meek state, and when someone knows that this does not bother you, they will not do it again. It's the law of life. Nobody can hurt you with the same thing until you make it an issue. So don't force things to happen, but allow them to happen. And they will pass if they are not good. If they are good, they will also come and they do their bit, and then you will also get the bad ones, they will come, the good ones will come, and the best always for you will be what will be maintained. So if you have a desire for a job, for marriage, for money, for a car, for land, for a trip abroad, for a master's, ask yourself, how am I resisting these things? When you think about them and you want them badly, you are resisting them, you are forcing them, you are saying they are very far from you, yet they are one with you. The fact that you feel you want them, they are one with you. But when you think they are not coming, they are not coming. Many of you, if you are chosen, you feel like not doing what someone is accusing you of. Even if you're going to give someone money and someone says, you're not giving me the money. So it's how many of us want to express. We are always sort of desperate, or we want like to force, yet the energies of the world cannot be forced. We said you cannot force water to become hot without heating it. You cannot force a crop to grow in one day because you have money, because you are a general in the army. It is not possible. So even these things will only come when you are at that level at which they can flow. So your job is to get yourself to that flow. And God has helped us that some of us have understood this, and you are flowing also towards the things we desire. But we're also here to help your path towards achieving the things we desire by flowing at the best frequency, vibrating at the best level, so that you can achieve the things that you desire. And one of the keys is to be in the flow, to surrender to the universe, to the power of God, so that the things can come to you because you want them, and you are divine, you are co-heir with Christ, you are at one meant with God, and they will be there if they are meant for you and they are for your good. So by thinking badly about such things and situations, but Master, will you get those people? Will they give you? They only look at this. That one, if you're not a Mnyankole, in our country, what people say, it's us who are creating these things. You are the one saying them, creating them. But if you believe you'll get it, you don't add those palliatives. They are not important. Do your bit. Do your bit. You say, I want a job. Don't put on other things. The people say that if you don't sleep, like ladies especially, if you don't sleep with the boss, you cannot get a job. But people have jobs and nothing. But once you get that into your head, so these are the programming we are saying we should resist. You focus on what you want and allow it to come. If it comes in an unfair, don't allow it, then it's not meant to be. So you cannot want to be prosperous but resist the things you have to do to be prosperous. Some of us don't want to wake up early. You want to plant, you cannot go and plant at sunset. I mean at what? At 11 a.m. The sun is getting strong. There are things, there are other laws. Be aware of them. That's why we started these sessions with the laws of what? The seasons appear at their time. That one, you're not in charge. And that's why I brought you that serenity prayer. Know the things you can change and the things you can't change. You as one person, you have no power to change seasons. Even if you do it, you will do it for one time. There are laws up there. The cosmos, things are flowing. All the stars and the galaxies are working to make sure the things that we are witnessing are able to be going the way they are. It's not only you. You're not the only player, my friend. So if you think things are going to change because of you, it's not possible. There has to be a way for all things to move, and if you can learn the frequency at which they are moving, vibrate at the same level, then they will happen. But many of us want to abuse, for example, rich people, think they are thieves, they are corrupt, they are this, yet you want money. Then it will not come to you. Money has nothing to do with God. Now we shall talk about money some other time. That's another very, we shall have three, I think, sessions on money. There are things you have to understand. And we said, get understanding, get knowledge, understanding, and wisdom if you are to win. And this is partly what we are doing and helping each other. And I hope that you have questions. Concluding, we are saying the water, find the way around everything. Like that river, find the way around everything until you arrive. It doesn't matter whether you are right or wrong. It does not matter. Is the river right? Turn around? No. It is going towards this goal. If you take longer, what matters is going to the destination. Do you know your destination? Your destination is to know your oneness with God and to live it. Be able to command things and they be. Be able to have your desires and they are met. And that's where you want to go. But if you put other people there, if you think your wife will make you happy, your children will make you happy, your job will make you happy, that one is not in the law book. It's not there. It is you and God. Direct only. All other things come and go. So enjoy them for the time they are there. They will win and go. But you remain forever. You and God. Because you're one with God, you remain forever. And it's that one moment that we are aiming at. So if you don't resist anything, it will dissolve away. Anything you don't resist will find where we go for a meeting, people, we have so much unbelief. So you see people spraying mosquitoes on them, it's anti-mosquito, something like that. But you can't even tell mosquitoes, please, you mosquitoes, if you have disease, please don't come to me. Don't come. You can't believe that you can even tell mosquitoes and they listen to you. People are they have never even lived for one day. They don't believe even the simple power they have. There's nothing to listen to a mosquito. What real? If you know that you say words that can be listened to by the universe, certainly there are things you can say and they will be happy. But also not every mosquito that comes on you is dangerous. Some of them are destined to come and pick some blood from you so that they can go and reproduce. So all this struggle, God has created an ecosystem of things that should happen now, but we go focusing on small things sometimes, and they get us off what. So what you are about to think of avoiding, you will always attract. That's why we say learn to allow things in. Whatever you try to avoid will happen. You will always keep attracting because you're giving big energy. So you have given, because you give them attention, and that's your precious energy, you will make them grow. So that is it. To be able to operate well at this level, we are saying learn to master your attention, the present, go into activities that help you to be in the present, and meditation is one of them, yoga is one of them. Like I told you, at the end of the year, we have been starting these sessions. My colleague, Master Shaka, will also be leading some sessions for you to do meditation and yoga and Qigong exercises so that we can attune to ourselves. We can be ourselves and tune into our very being and nature and learn just to be, because we just are. You're just I am. You're just I am. All other things come and go. All other things are not you. You just are. You're just a being. And if you cannot go into that being where everything results, where all the other yams you are that come from, if you don't go there where the creation starts, then you're going to continue to be in a state of resistance and of desiring and forcing, which is not the true creation state. So I think I'll take questions and then we conclude. I hope you have those verses read for us. I give you. So we are saying non-resistance is about surrendering to what is. Let whatever is be, because you all said being. All beings are. That's it. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the attention. It's such a pleasure, because remember, if you're not there, I would not probably get a chance to share this with anyone, and to spread this good knowledge that God has helped me to see, this light that God has put in me, so that people like you and me can live much better life. So I'll take questions.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, Master. It's indeed a profound lesson. And
you're welcome.
I feel I need to go through it again. And
you need what?
I feel like I'll need to look through the recording again so that I can even capture more.
Okay.
Because yes, it seems to really be at the heart of so much in life, and yet indeed it seems to be the key thing. So one of the issues I felt was that part that was a little bit looking complex is, when you say we just let things be, and then I also remember the issue of how to use your power and oneness with God to change situations. For example, you might want to create a state of abundance instead of going to bed hungry, like you are saying, that in case there is only a cup of tea, you take that and let things be, and you sleep. But earlier on, we are looking at things like, in case there is an appearance. Hello? Yeah. Yes, in case there is an appearance of lack and we can make these things happen, why don't I make things happen instead of going with the flow? Instead of, when it's going to rain, instead of letting it be, why don't I command it to go? But then you mentioned something that I felt was a little bit related and was nearing answering that part of my question. And that thing was, once you have wished something, and then in a way let things flow in their time way, or in their time frame, or according to their situations. But then I also remember another law persisting and being consistent? When do you stop praying or asking and then finally say, now, after asking and commanding abundance, it's time for me to let the universe, to let things go with the flow and I be non-resistant? I don't know whether it's something you can pick from, because I was, like I had said, I thought I need more time to digest, but I don't know whether you picked something. Commanding
I think
things.
I can answer that first.
Okay.
Yes, I'm glad that you got the answer halfway. So first of all, we are saying the issue is that there is the law of gestation. Gestation has already been decided. If it has not yet come, then it's not for your good. So it's not that you command for abundance, but before it comes, you have to know it is there, it is coming. You know, that's the other thing. You are giving energy to the absence. Huh? It's there, it's coming. Remember, it will be 28. The worldly salary, you know it is coming. You know, if they put 29th or 30th, on 28th, you know it's coming. Huh? But because someone has assured it. But here in the spiritual realm, because it has not yet come, you think the fact that you had not, the day you impregnated your wife, you had not impregnated her, does not mean that you are not able to impregnate or you are not going to. I don't know if you get it.
Yes,
now, if you look at all the natural things we said, when the river is flowing, that water is flowing. It's not about what you cannot even count that this is the water that left here, has reached here, but it's going to reach. It's going to come. It's even if the particular water, let's say this water called the Timothy is coming, it's going to come. You have to be sure about it. It has just not yet shown, but it's coming. So whatever, as you wait, you cannot feed the same in probably bring it home. When you plant, for example, are you going to force the crop to grow? No. You wait. There's that time when you eat less sauce, sometimes even no sauce, as you wait for the things to mature. That's wisdom has been there. That things, once you wish them into being, you have to give them time to appear. Then the natural forces to bring them, and that non-resistance is the key that will let them come in. Once you resist, they will keep away, because you are sort of fighting them. You're fighting them. You're saying they don't exist because you are noticing their absence. You're focusing on their absence instead of on them being there. That's why I told you you have to mark 11:24 very, very strongly. That whatever it is you want, know that it is already yours and it will be yours. You have to know that it's already there. And there is nothing you will get if you don't know it is yours. So it is present but has not yet shown. That's why I'm saying no thing means next opportunity thing. It is not. So when you say it's not there, then you don't know that it is there. Therefore, it will continue not being there because you don't know that it is there. But once you know that this room where we are, things are started in the spiritual when there is the so-called nothing. So me, once I wish it, I have started the creation process. It is there. I'm the one putting it. We call it actually like you have planted it on the screen of space. Look at all houses; they were not there. You can't put it there, then it becomes there. Nothing was in this world. Everything was in the physical manifestation. Things are because people have manifested them. But they were always there. The soil that makes the house, the wood, has always been there in trees. So there is still some action. It's not just about prayer and wishing. That's why he said, food does not feed itself in your mouth. Even though the whole process you go through. So there are still things you should do. But to do all those, you have to learn to be non-reactive, non-resistant. Think, what do I need to do? If you need a job, write applications. Take them. Don't be in the group that is saying those ones will not give you, those ones will not give this. If they say they want a master's and you have a PhD, I mean you have a degree, you apply. Yours is not believe in those limitations. If you want it, apply for it. Your job is, and now start thinking yourself that you have got it. Now the challenge that is yours, it is you to know that it is yours, because you will not even go to the garden to harvest if you don't know that the plants have grown and they are there. You will say, but did they grow? Are they really there? So that's the kind of state sometimes we keep in on these manifestations. So it's not that you are dwelling in lack. You are dwelling in a knowing waiting. It's like in my language, they say that that when a woman is 1 month pregnant or 2 weeks, for them they know, others don't know. They don't see anything, but for them they know there is something. Something strong is growing. Is growing. So even you, people might say, where is it? Where is the stomach? We don't see any bulge, but you know. And that knowing is what they call faith. The evidence of things not yet seen and the substance of things hoped for. It is that faith. Faith has to come before you see. Even Jesus said, please, the right order is not to see and believe. It is to believe, then you see. I hope I have answered that appropriately.
Yes, Master, you have.
Okay, next. Any other? Do you have another question?
Not as yet. I will meditate further and maybe even ask in the group.
Okay. Had you brought up the other verse I asked you to get?
Yes.
Can you read it for us? There are a number of verses.
I think I remember Matthew 5:43-48.
Yes. What does it say?
Okay. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 43-48. Love for enemies. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect.
Have we understood it?
Yes.
Yes, so all the things that seem to be fighting us, all the things, you have to allow them, you have to give them. They are your friends, they are teaching you something. Let them be, let them flow through. Don't resist them, don't fight them. Whatever situation, don't. Because it's only then that you can allow more and better manifestation to come. Many of us realize people are good when they resist all our abuses, all our mistrust, all our doubts. Like, oh. So we have masters learn to live with that. I used to be pained by a lot of things, especially with the wife or partner. When they say some things, but you go learning that they realize by themselves. You learn, I will not resist. I will not resist. Because that's true mastery. You stop getting angry, you stop getting pained, you stop blaming others. You're always looking for what you can do. You ignore. You're not ignoring in a bad way, but ignoring with love. No, it's like a child. They will learn. They will learn and grow. They will know the right thing, and life will be okay. The adversary is that one always telling you feel bad. Don't be this. You are not this. You are not good. You are so angry. You are this. You are not faithful. You are always accusing you. Accusing you. Accusing you. Accusing you. Accusing you of something. So they have said you are not good. Are you really not good? Fight back. But once you learn to flow, the other person. Some people, by the time you actually go back to them, they have forgotten what they said. So we are called to a higher level. We said we have to go to a higher right. To master, you have to be higher. You cannot be angry and disturbed by everything that comes. You can't even be in those, because those are negative. You have always to be in love, flow in love. People, when you know what happens when you box, you strike a sponge. Who pains? Who gets pain?
You get hurt.
Yeah, you are the one who gets hurt. So once you become a sponge, people will say, that one is a sponge. But in that sense, you are the sponge. Whoever comes through, they hit the wall, they hit the bed, the floor, and they bounce off. And you are back to the same size, flowing. And it's then that you are also able to teach very great lessons. Me, I'm sure in all these things we say, even our own parents, our own spouses, our own children, they don't think that they say nice things to us. I dare say. Sometimes you can hear, they think you are off, you are out of this world, you don't understand. But you have to bring them light. You have to persist in that light. Again, so persistence is in being open to the what you want, to what you know to be true. Not in forcing it to happen. So I'm praying for you and for all those who watch and listen to this, that the God in us can come to the fore, can come and be alive, and help us to understand that being one with God does not mean force. God does not force anything. Everything flows in its pattern. Every body, everything is playing its role. Every part of your body has its purpose, and they have to work. They have to work together for the good of those who love the Lord, who love themselves, and that we can grow in this understanding that there is nothing we can force. We are here to be in the universe, the uniform voice, the uniform verse, the uniform song. And that song, we must know where it is going at different times and be able to flow with it and surrender to it, and know that by surrendering to the highest voice, which is the voice of God, the light, the love, that we can live fully, and that all whatever we need can be met by that love, that light. Thank you, and stay blessed.